Hello. My name is Ingrid. We probably met already a few times on stage or off stage. And it's wonderful to see you in this hall, and also greetings to all the listeners online globally. So we will share two success stories today. Digital transformation is widely known as a way to increase openness and prosperity for countries. But none of these journeys are the same. So there are probably hundreds of stories, some that didn't go so well and some that were really good. So today, on stage with me, we will share two success stories from Angola and from Bangladesh. And with me on the stage will be Meick Afonso, Director General of the Institute of Administrative Modernization from Angola, and Fani Farmaki from EU Delegation to Bangladesh. Please welcome them. We know your titles, but I would like you to introduce yourself through a question. What is your relationship with digital change? Fani.
Right. First of all, congratulations on this wonderful conference, and thank you very much for making part of it. So, I'm not a tech geek, although I'd love to be one, but I'm a big fan of the change that technologies can bring to people's lives. And through my work in the humanitarian and development sectors over the years, I've seen this transformative potential. In humanitarian aid, through mobile money or digital vouchers to refugees for cash assistance in Uganda, for example, and in the development context in Kosovo, where citizens can solve issues like garbage collection or street lighting by interacting with their municipal authorities via public participation, digital platforms. So you can imagine how much I was excited when I joined the European Union delegation to Bangladesh to develop the EU's first e-governance program in the country.
Wonderful. And Meick, what is your relationship with digital change?
So first of all, let me also say thank you for your inviting. My relation with the digital starting 13 years ago, when I finished my degree and then I go to private sector. But I understand that based in our reality, right? Angola was under construction, developing different areas. And I make a question to myself, so how can I use my ability to help country development? So that's why I joined to the government, at the Ministry of Justice, right, and work for digital identification system, right, to enroll data and helping country to make a national identification system for all citizens. And then from that, it's story.
Thank you. So I would like to move to the success stories. Fani, what is one success story you would like to share from Bangladesh?
Right. Let me give a bit of context for those who don't know the country that well. Bangladesh is a country of 172 million people living on a territory 3 times the size of Estonia. This makes it the 6th most densely populated country in the world, right? And Bangladesh, already since its independence from Pakistan in 1971, has been for decades classified as one of the poorest countries in the world. But things started changing, and the main reason are the clothes that you and I wear in our everyday lives. So what we call the ready-made garment sector became, already since the late 80s, the country's first export sector and the country's primary foreign exchange source. So today, Bangladesh is the second largest exporter of Western fast fashion brands, Zara, H&M, Gap, name it, to the world right after China, and it's the fourth fastest growing economy in the region. Well, you can imagine that things were not all roses already since the start of the process, because probably some of you remember the collapse of the Rana Plaza garment factory in April 2013 that left more than 1,100 people dead. But this was the starting point for making things change, because both the industry, the garment industry, at the international and the national levels, and the international community put pressure so that labor rights, safety and security at the workplace, and social welfare start changing. And digital technologies have their own fair share in this success story. The government, with the support of the European Union, it's a long-term project, established it's called Labor Management Information System. It's basically a database that hosts the data of 4 million garment workers, 60% of which are women. And it's regularly updated. It's a dynamic database, of course, with the workers that are active in the market, workers that are unemployed, those who are vulnerable and socioeconomically distressed, those who are about to retire. And of course, the digital payments increased exponentially towards the garment workers. So what did technologies do here? First, for the garment workers, greater predictability and regularity, because the worker knows how much he's going to receive, when, why, and what to do if he or she doesn't receive it. Greater, of course, accountability for the very powerful industries and their associations, and greater oversight for the government, because the government now has control and overview of the situation. So Bangladesh belongs to the so-called least developed countries group and is set to graduate in 2026. And because of the story I just mentioned and other similar stories, the government has put digital transformation in both the pre- and the post-graduation efforts.
Thank you. Meick, from Angola, what is a success story you would like to share today?
Yesterday, Minister of State informed that Angola will launch this next June our digital agenda. And it's amazing, it's an honor also to be a part of it. When I started my role in IMA, right, the first question that I make to myself, and then when I talk with the minister, was why we are not taking the right results from all the efforts and investment that the government are making for make better service for our citizens. Our journey in digital in the government starting about 25 years ago. And we are not able until now to fix the basic problems for our citizens, as you know, and helping our economy to grow. Mm-hmm. But if you go deep on what we already done until now, you see we invest a lot of money. We try to make a project, but why we are failing? And the answer coming on that way, we should work as a one government, as a platform. Why? Because at the end of the day, we are working for the same citizen. Of course, one day have one need regarding to the finance, another for social insurance, but it's only one citizen. It's only one company. So the decision was, let's work together, but how we can approach it? So we received mandate to start working with all the ministries to starting collect the projects, analyze it, and concept a single agenda for the government. Wasn't easy.
Was it easy?
First of all, the ministries, they are not on the same level. Some of them have a lot of investments, some are using big data, some are trying approach to implement AI. But today you have some ministries which the workers are there working on paper. They don't have good conditions to use the digital. They don't have literacy. So, discussing with the Minister A to say, let's try to use your technology, your product, to improve the Minister B, for example, wasn't easy. But was much hard explain to people why we should work together. Explain to ourselves. See, to the government, which our starting point is working together to materialize the public policy, but at the end of the day, to satisfy the citizen needs. So today, we say to everybody, next June, we launch our agenda. For sure, it's a big target that we already achieved. So of course, now we are on the way for the formal approval. But we are proud because we was able to fix internally our vision. Now we have the challenge to materialize all these projects.
Thank you. I'm sure that this working together concept is a challenge for a lot of you. Like people going and institutions going in separate directions. Moving back to Bangladesh, Fani, another thing that you would like to point out from your experience.
Right. So let's say that I'm gonna try to share a success story in the making, right? So I believe, and I really admire I think that the digital journey of Bangladesh is remarkable, but I won't be complacent with the country. So let me tell you a story. It's a true story. A Bangladeshi friend of mine wanted to get a birth certificate for himself. So he did so by visiting the website of the Office of the Registrar General, and he submitted an application called New Birth Registration Application. So the process starts online, and these are the good news, right? The bad news is that the online component of the process stopped there, which means that my friend had to do everything else, from submitting the papers, to follow up with the municipality, to fix appointment with the municipality, and even to get the certificate in paper at the end, right? Another interesting piece of the story is that my friend is 38 years old, which means that he had already a birth certificate from his municipality when he was born. So he needed the new birth certificate in order to be able to register his own newborn's birth, right? But the old databases, so the old certificates, the municipal ones, were cancelled, actually, were abolished. So he goes through the new process to obtain the new birth certificate. The IDs of all the new birth certificate don't match, but they're still valid for different uses. So that's a story, basically, that tells the everyday needs that Bangladeshi citizens have, like many other citizens in this world, which, if solved, they could really dramatically improve their lives. But the cycle of digital public services does not start with the services, let alone the citizens themselves. The starting points, and we heard this a lot during the conference, are interoperable systems, government-to-government systems, are digitally confident civil servants, of course, enabling and clear regulatory policy framework, modernization of legacy infrastructure, and of course, an integrated approach to both how we set up and we use digital infrastructure. These are the needs that the new EU's program on e-governance will try to address, so that hopefully citizens can give their data fewer times, hopefully only once at some point eventually, and they can access services in a fast, cost-effective, and simple, straightforward way. There are a couple of things that make me happy and optimistic in this process. First of all, we don't start from scratch. There is already infrastructure in Bangladesh, both and regulations together with policies. And at the same time, we are partnering with the e-Governance Academy of Estonia and the British Council for this project. So I look forward to welcoming you to Dhaka to kickstart the project. But probably it's important to say that no digital ambition can be achieved without digital connectivity. And in Bangladesh, we have remote areas, remote and hard-to-reach areas that are still uncovered pockets. I'm talking about now broadband internet. So we aim to invest in digital connectivity in the country, in those remote and hard-to-reach areas, to make sure that there is last-mile digital connectivity, and beyond the cables, the masts, or whatever the technical equipment will be, we are planning to connect health centers, schools, and what we call union digital centers. These are the village-level sort of digital centers to the network, so that people get connected to broadband internet, improve, hopefully, their livelihoods, their socioeconomic opportunities, and hopefully also bridging the digital divide that, of course, persists in the country.
Was your friend happy when he got the birth certificate, finally?
Well, yes, it looked prettier than the old one, but it still bared hand stamps and hand signatures. So
there is room for improvement.
There is room for improvement, yes. Yes, indeed.
Meick, what about you? Tell us another story.
Our another story is regarding to the interoperability, but not too much on the technical level. So I think during these 2 days, we already talked enough about interoperability, but on the technical perspective. I want to say it on the citizen impact. In Angola, we have a national program that we call Simplifica. It's a political program that wants to achieve a simple and easy service to be delivered to the citizen and companies. And the government decided to join 2 different documents, which belongs to different entities, which was enrolled based on data that is collected from a previous service to a second one. So, vehicle identification. When you import one vehicle in Angola, in the past until now, from the past until now, you was obligated to interact with 2 different entities. And see, first one, just for collect the data of the car, of the vehicle, technical data, and second one, to collect the data of the owner, to say, I'm owner of this car. Usually, the owner of the cars was able to run all day, all life, without taking these 2 documents, because it wasn't easy. And we start 2 years ago working with these 2 ministries. Wasn't easy, right? Asking the procedures, understanding why, how we can connect it, how we can take advantage from technology, how we can use your systems, and like that, go to front and come back again during 2 years. But was a time that all the stakeholders involved on it, understanding this is the best that we should do because it will benefit all of us. We are also citizens, right? And then we start working fast. Of course, we receive a political mandate to say, you have a time to finish this. Today, we're still having 2 entities with intervention on the process, but the citizens are receiving only 1 card in 1 point with 1 touch. We are trying to fix the legacy process, but to move forward, we are happy to say we have the interoperability in the hand of our citizens. So this is our success story that we want to share with you. And this helps us to understand that the interoperability, our DPI, is the main project that we should implement in our digital agenda. Because it will bring to us, now as experience, the way to connect and as Loon, right? If I'm not wrong, says creating a service which is achieving the citizen needs. We are also creating another service which is interoperable regarding to trade facilitation, which you have different entities, but the companies are able today to submit a single requirement, and 3 entities, they are sharing data. So, if all of us understand it, we can say that this story, which is concrete, it's touchable, right, will help us to achieve our citizen needs. That's why for us it's very important every time when we take the floor to say to people, the interoperability should not be only a technical. They should be touchable. People should understand that I connect, that I link to 2 different entities, but I receive a single product in an easy, way. Thank you.
That sounds good. So we have a little bit time left only. We're not going to take questions from you, but you're welcome to catch Fani or Meick during the upcoming coffee break. Do you have any closing remarks, Fani?
All right. Well, I can say that I have a word of caution, probably. Let's say that Bangladesh already since 15 years ago placed digital transformation as a vehicle to poverty reduction and socioeconomic development. And now Bangladesh has the Smart Bangladesh 2041 vision. It's basically the strategy of the government to turn the country to a knowledge-based economy and a knowledge-based society. And I must say that the government is committed and serious about this effort. And they're also trying to catch up with developments at the international level on AI, on data protection, on cybersecurity, just to name a few areas, right? But we cannot put the cart before the horse. Yes, technologies, if used strategically and methodically, they can improve the transparency, the integrity, and the accountability in the public sector. But no technology, no matter how sophisticated it is, can solve by itself the problem of corruption. We heard different opinions during the conference. I would argue that corruption can also be agile, and if it's not one step ahead of the technologies, it will always be one step behind. So political will is what matters. It matters a great deal. And if political will is there, then technologies will follow and they will do their job. So this is one of the principles, together with the user-centric approach that we have, the citizen-centric approach in the EU, that guides our partnership, not only with Bangladesh, but also with the other countries where we are present in the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Closing remarks from you, Meick.
My closing remarks, it's much focused on the citizen-centric service. The government role is not to work for itself, right? It's working to citizens. So that means we are in some different ministries with different mandates, but work together. So that means my first remark is based in one word: cooperation. But cooperation means working to the same targets, to the same objectives, not to compete with each other. The second is take advantage from the technology. Doesn't matter if I invest more in technology if I'm not able to deliver an easy service to my citizen. So cooperating in using in the right way technology will give us a succeed journey. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Fani. Thank you, dear Meick. Thank you, audience, here in beautiful, smart Tartu and online.